Welcome to the Roy Rundown, a podcast designed to share insights and secrets from top experts in the college sports landscape, guiding you along your own path to success. Join us in real time as we build Roy, dive into the latest NIL trends, and uncover stories from the movers and shakers in the sports business space. You'll hear from an all-star lineup of guests, including athletes, coaches, agents, fans, athletic administrators, and more. Whether you're a student athlete, passionate fan, or anyone in between, this is your go-to resource for leveling up in the new age of college sports.
Welcome back to the Roy Rundown. Today, we're thrilled to have another game-changing college athlete join us, a standout football player for the University of Tennessee, and allegedly, the rumor has it, he is the funniest guy on his team, or one of the funniest guys on his team, Chris Brazzell. Chris, welcome to the show.
What up?
Thanks for being here, man. So, all right, let's start off by you sharing a little bit more about your upbringing. I like to share, every guest that comes on, where you grew up, how you got involved with football from a young age, and then we'll kind of get into the recruiting process after that.
I grew up in Midland, Texas, a small little city in Texas. My dad actually played for the Cowboys. He played receiver for the Cowboys. He played for the Jets as well. And he also played 11 years for the CFL. So my whole life I've been around football, been to games, been trained by NFL guys. So football's always been around me.
Cool. So you played high school football in Texas. So people don't really follow football that much in Texas, right?
Nah,
I'll just mess with you. Fun fact, actually, I grew up in outside of Dallas. So if I stayed there, I moved to New Jersey, but I would have gone to South Lake Carroll. I don't know if you've heard of South Lake Carroll, but football's pretty big in Texas. That was the point of the joke I was making. So obviously you were around the game a lot from a young age, but was there a point at your career, whether it was in middle school or high school, where you were like, hey, I'm pretty damn good at this game. Like, I know I want to play at the next level. Do you remember that specific point in time?
I don't, to be honest. I'll say 7-on-7. I went to Dallas for a tournament and played against some top recruits and was killing them. I'm not gonna lie. So that was when I was like, I'm pretty good. So yeah.
And so when did the recruiting process start for you? Like, was it in high school? What was that like? Were you starting to get phone calls? Did it all happen at once? Was it slowly but surely?
Mine was slowly but surely. I got my first offer my junior year of high school to FAU University. Actually committed there, then decommitted and went to Tulane. But I didn't have a lot of offers when I was in high school. I had 5, 6. Didn't have any SEC or any big time schools. I had Pitt, but I ain't want to go play in the snow. No one wants to play in the snow as a receiver. I went to Tulane. Went to Tulane for a little bit. I was blessed to perform good enough to get over here to Tennessee, and now I'm here.
So talk a little bit about that process, if you don't mind, before we get into it, because obviously I want to talk all about Tennessee, but obviously with even before NIL, transferring has always been a thing, right? So for you, you performed, as you said, and you had the opportunity to, I guess, put it as you may, but level up, right? Go up to that next level. So like, what was that process like for you? Was it just an opportunity to, play against higher level competition because ultimately that helps with your NFL aspirations, or what was kind of that process of transferring like for you?
I ain't gonna lie, it was crazy. I always wanted to play SEC football, you feel me? So it was a leveling up thing for me. Once I decided to get in the portal, I knew I was going to go SEC. I wanted to play big time football. So it was pretty crazy.
And so, when you put your name in the portal, were you getting calls left and right, or did you have an idea?
No, I was getting calls left and right.
You were?
Yeah, yes, sir.
So then walk me through that process. You're getting calls left and right. What ultimately made you choose Tennessee? Like, what was like, okay, this is where I'm going?
I ain't gonna fake it. The second I hopped in the portal, I was walking back to my dorm. I had like 5, 6 coaches at one time just calling me. I'm like, shoot, I ain't go through this in high school, so this was all new to me. So at first it was pretty cool. But then it kind of got a little hectic because you
A
kind
little
of,
stressful.
yeah, because you got all these coaches call you. They all sound good. You got to do like a deep dive into university and all that. So it got pretty stressful. But also the thing that separated Tennessee from the rest was, for sure, Coach Hype. I think as a receiver or any offensive player or a skill position offensive player, you want to play for an offensive-minded coach. You know what I'm saying? And Hype played quarterback. So it was like kind of like a no-brainer. Hype plays quarterback. He wants to pass the ball. Tennessee showed they will pass the ball 2022, 2023, 2021. They don't show they'll pass the ball. So the style of offense that we play, run and gun, fast tempo, option game, it was just like, to me, it was like, who would not want to come play in this type of offense? So it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, and you made a good point that I feel like is not talked about enough. You mentioned, like, at the time, a lot of coaches said what they needed to say. Like, it sounded great, and I'm not saying that they were all wrong or they were all lying, but you need to do your due diligence as a player. Like, okay, well, this sounds good. How did you go through that process? Like, what did you bring in, obviously, your support team, or what did you do personally to be like, okay, now he said this, but let me go check on this and let me do my due diligence.
So every coach called you and was telling me they want me to be the guy, blah 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 blah. The whole time they just had a guy last year who was coming back. You know what I'm saying? So, just really just trying to. You really want to go somewhere where you're needed and not wanted. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause every coach is gonna want you say all this, say all that, but you gotta do a deep dive and see what's best for you. So me in my situation, I had an agent help me out. I had my mama and daddy help me out. Just making sure I find the right fit for me because there's a lot of guys who enter the portal who get lost, make the wrong decision. So I was trying my hardest to make sure I didn't make the wrong decision.
Yeah, and I think you made the right one. I guess last piece there, like, how big, and we'll talk about fans a lot here shortly, and like the fan support at Tennessee, but how big of a factor did that play, if anything at all, for you to choose that you're going there? Like, did you watch a video, or have you been there before? Or
Man, no, it's crazy. Look, so I was on a bowl game to who they played, Iowa. That was my first interaction with Tennessee. They flew me out to Florida and Orlando for a bowl game, and they had like a mini ball walk at the bowl game, which was crazy to me to see all these fans. But I was already committed there. But this was just story time. You feel what I'm
yeah,
saying? Story time. So boom, it was just crazy to me to see all these fans there on my first away game, coming from where I came from. When we had a away game, you ain't really see too many fans in the stands. So that was just my crazy moment.
that's awesome. All right, so you get to Tennessee. Talk a little bit more about just campus and the environment and the culture and the community. Like, of course, you guys, are a very, very good football team. Obviously the culture there of volunteer fans is great, but how big of an impact does that really make on you? Like, are you walking around campus and around town and people are like showing love, or what's it like off the field too?
Yeah. So man, this is definitely a college city, a college town. I was at McDonald's. That Bama week, I'm at McDonald's and everybody's just like, good catch, good catch, good catch. I'm like, thank you. Like, I ain't really think y'all would know me. I'm just at McDonald's trying to get some food, or I'm at the gas station. I'm walking in. People like, congrats. So I mean, when it's a lot of love here. Like, you would want to come play here and play for Tennessee. I promise you.
That's great. And so, I think one question I'd like to touch on is the student section a little bit. Like, obviously fans, like as you mentioned, it's a college town, right? There's a lot of community. There's a lot of volunteer fans around the country, let alone there. But what's it like to, be in a big game at home and look over at the student section, and like, how much does that fire you up?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Neyland's a pretty crazy stadium. So me personally, I don't look at the student section. I'm trying to stay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because
I like it.
Neyland's pretty crazy. So me, I'm trying to stay in the field. You know what I'm saying? Trying to stay
Locked in.
Yes, sir.
So your time is at the Vol. It's called the Vol Walk, right? The Vol
Correct.
Walk. So that's your time, right? I know you talked about the Vol Walk in Orlando, but talk a little bit about the Vol Walk, at home.
Uh, Man, you hop out the bus and it's like 1,000 people. Like, you walk out the bus and you look in one way and there's 1,000 people, and you're just like me. I'm walking the first time and I'm not thinking the ball walk is this long. I remember turning like 3 corners and still seeing like 1,000 people there, 10,000 people. And I'm like, yeah, this is crazy. Like, and this is outside the arena. Then you get in the arena, and there's probably another 2,000-3,000 watching you warm up. People on the sideline. So it was just crazy.
And fans, obviously, we talked a little bit before. Fans have a big impact on the way you play on the field, but another reason they have an impact is the NIL landscape, which I want to talk about a little bit. So, you know, the NIL landscape is real, right? If you say NIL, there are some people out there that are like, oh, you know, why are they getting some money? Why are players getting money? When the reality is that the past 100 years, players have not gotten a single dollar from all the billions and trillions of revenue that have come in. But now it's an opportunity for that. And so I guess I just want to kind of hear your just general feedback on like how real and important NIL is in general. Like how, you know, there's a lot of positives that come out of it, right? And so, you know, like how important is NIL in today's college landscape?
I feel like it's really important. You look at guys like John Manziel. NIL was not out when John Manziel was out, correct?
Correct.
You like guys like John Manziel, and he was like the face of football. Like, you feel me? You got guys tuning in to watch him play. Not really Texas A&M, but to really watch him play. So, or Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Me want to watch some guys just play. So, anytime you're able to bring some to an organization or to a platform, I feel like you should be able to make some money off of it, especially off the fact like you can get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can get hurt the next game, next play. So you want to really make the most of what you can do now, because the next down is not promised. So, yeah.
Yeah, you hit it. And that's one thing, obviously, at Roy that we're trying to do is, and just NIL in general, but, you know, as a college athlete, you need to maximize your window of time that you're able to, you know, reach your free market value, because you just said it perfectly. You know, you never know when you get that next play or that next down, and that window's small, right? And so you want to take advantage of it. And so, you know, obviously Roy being a platform that allows fans to do exactly that is powerful. So what's one of the things or two of the things that you like about Roy, you know, when we were talking about Roy and having this opportunity to be involved with it, just in your own words, like what are some things that you like about it?
I like Roy because, you know, if you're a guy going into the season, they really weren't expecting to do a lot, and then you end up being a guy during the season who's doing a lot, fans can like specifically pay you. They can like pick a guy to pay. So let's say going into the season, I really wasn't projected to do too much. NIL's not paying me a lot, but during the season, I'm out here catching all these balls. Roy can pay me, and the fans can pay me right to me, and I can get supported.
That's perfect. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you nailed it. Obviously, there's a lot of athletes that are getting some money from, you know, whether it is collectives or whether it is another platform. Roy's a platform that's an additional tool for you to get money. And everyone, right? Not just the 1%. Yeah, what any other factors that are important to you? I mean, I know, and we talked about a lot, and there's a lot of benefits of Roy. Anything else that comes to mind that you like about it?
Any guy on the team can get supported. You don't have to be a starter. You don't have to really even make plays. Shoot, you can be the kicker, you know. Kicker makes a few kicks, you know, you go pay the kicker for a good game, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you can see like every dollar you make, the fans can see it. So the fans can see like how much money you're getting or how much money they're sending. And then athletes, you can see how much money you're getting. Like at the second that dollar hits, if it's $1, you know exactly. If it's $10, you know exactly. So it's just fun to see like what you're getting at the moment, because, you know, sometimes you're promised some things and you really don't never see them. You know what I'm saying? Like guys are promised a lot of money sometimes and then may not see it. But Roy, you're able to see exactly what you get when you get it.
Yep. No, you nailed it, man. The transparency was important to us, both from the athlete side and the fan side, so everybody can see where every dollar is going. And then the other part is also important to me is that, you know, obviously NIL is great, and there is going to be the top and the 1% that get a lot of NIL dollars, but there's also, you know, call it the 99% of athletes that might not get huge bags of money from collectives or from brand deals that have the opportunity to, you know, leverage this window of time and leverage the support from fans and benefit financially. So that's great, man. Well, let's transition a little bit here. We obviously talked a lot of football. I want to talk a little bit about Chris off the field and some of your future goals. So, of course, growing up around the game and having your dad in the NFL, you mentioned the NFL is in your aspirations, right? So talk about that process, where you see yourself.
I'm trying to league. That's just a dream, just like the SEC is a dream. Just trying to league, man.
And so what about, okay, so obviously, again, talk more football, but let's talk non-football. What are some things that you do off the field that fans might not know? I know you said you're a chill guy and you're kind of low key, but if you're the funniest guy on the team, you got to have something that you do off the field.
I'd be chilling. I play the game. I'll be playing the game. I like to drive cars. I got a muscle car I like to drive. That's really about it.
What about I know we talked a little earlier about your dogs. I'm a huge dog guy. What kind of dog do you have? Your dog's back at home?
Correct.
Okay. What kind of? Go ahead.
I got a Yorkie. I got a little Yorkie, small little Yorkie.
Okay. All right. So you're a dog guy too. All right. So business professional, focused on the NFL aspirations, kind of a low key guy, but a funny guy. Good to know.
For sure.
Good to know. That's awesome, man. What one question I like to ask as we wrap up here. There's a lot of, and I'm sure you get it around campus too, but there's a lot of younger kids that might be listening to this that aspire to be where you are now. What's some advice that you'd give to them?
It's not where you start, it's where you finish. I kind of was talking about it earlier. I didn't have any SEC offers. I didn't have really any big offers to start my high school career. To be honest, really was not thinking I'll ever play SEC football coming out of high school. So just like I said, know where you start is where you finish. Don't quit and just keep going.
That's great advice. All right. So the very last thing I have for you, we call it Roy Rundown Rapid Fire. I'm just going to ask you a bunch of questions really quickly. And the first answer that comes to your mind, you got to say, okay?
Bet.
All right. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
If you had to play a sport other than football, what would it be?
Basketball.
That's right. Hooper. I love it.
Yes, sir.
If you could have a dream NIL deal, what company would it be with?
Nike. First thing that came in my head. So we're going to go Nike.
So this question I think we have answered, so you might have to give. The question is, who's the funniest person on the team? But now I'll let you say who's the second funniest person on the team.
Who's the second funny? I mean, I'm not the funniest guy. I would have sounded the funniest guy on the team. I don't, you feel me? Who's the funniest guy on the team? Caleb Webb, another receiver. He's pretty funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could trade places with anyone in the world and live 1 year in their shoes, who would it be?
A year?
1 year in their shoes.
And then who's in my body?
I don't know.
Sure.
You're not switching places. You just get to live 1 year in their shoes.
Let's do LeBron.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. What is one of your biggest strengths?
As far as what? Football or just life?
Anything. Could be life, could be football. Yeah, let's do life.
Life. That's a great question, Kev. It's a great question.
I know you got a great answer coming.
Let's see. Biggest strength. It's gonna sound corny, but I feel like make somebody smile. For sure. That's
a great attribute to have. A couple more here. Who was one of the first people to really believe in you?
My mama, my dad.
What is one of your biggest fears?
Biggest fears. I don't know. Heights. I don't really like heights, for real.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last question. If you can go back in time, what's one piece of advice that you would give to your younger self in high school?
Stay focused. Don't get lost. Don't get caught up in all the other stuff. Just stay focused.
Awesome. Well, it seems as you followed your own advice, because you know obviously you're in a good position here, and you've had a lot of success so far, and a lot more coming. So we appreciate you jumping on the podcast, and looking forward to watching your future success.
Appreciate you.